When you're searching for the top places to live in Maryland that are close to DC, you're unfortunately going to miss out on so many amazing places to live that don't make the top 10 list. So in this video, I'm going to go over the top city that comes to mind to me, which is Olney, Maryland, and what you should know about living here. So let's just jump right in. Hey everyone, my name is Eddie Brady and I'm a realtor here in Maryland. And if this is your first time visiting the channel, thank you for being here. I make videos like this every single week about the best places to move to in Maryland, what you should know about living here, the market updates, and everything in between. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. So where does Olney, Maryland stand on these lists? Well, according to niche.com, they rank as the 14th best suburb outside of DC to buy a house, and they also rank as the 14th best city or suburb overall in Maryland to live in. So they are not far off from that top 10 list. And one thing I really want to point out here is when you're looking for places to live in a brand new state, especially one like Maryland with so many cities in such a small area, you really have to consider dozens and dozens of towns, cities, and suburbs. And I would really recommend looking at the top 40 or 50 and narrowing them down from there. And if you're from out of state, I'm willing to bet you've never heard of the town of Olney. So what is Olney all about? Well, it is a town of just over 35,000 residents. It covers just over 16 square miles. It's located in Montgomery County, Maryland, and sits right at the intersection of 97 and Route 108. It's about 30 minutes from downtown DC, 35 minutes to downtown Baltimore, only 25 minutes from Fort Meade, and about 45 minutes from Annapolis. Now, these times are without traffic, and if you live in Montgomery County, you know that during rush hour, there's traffic pretty much everywhere. And another thing that you should know about living in Montgomery County is it's always easier to travel east to west and west to east, and much more difficult to travel north to south. And that's because going south takes you down to DC, and in the morning, everyone is headed down towards DC for work. And in the evenings and afternoons, everyone is heading back up north to their homes in places like Olney. So it's something to consider when you're thinking about traffic in the area. But if you're leaving early enough, which a lot of people do when they're working for the government down in DC, traffic won't be as much of an issue. And while we're talking about commuting, it's important to talk about public transportation if you're considering taking that to work down to DC or the surrounding areas. And unlike other parts of Montgomery County, like on the I-270 corridor, where you have the MARC train and the metro stations that can take you all the way down to DC, in Olney, you only have bus services that can take you to those train stations. So it's a significantly longer commute if you're thinking of using public transportation in Olney. So most people that live in this town have their own car to commute with, or at least one car per family. So at least you have that nearby. You don't want to rely just on the bus service here. You can do it, but it's going to take you much longer to get where you need to go. And the thing is, if you want to be near the metro or the MARC trains, you would just go to the west and live along the I-270 corridor. You could live in a place like Rockville or Silver Spring. But the thing about those areas is they have a totally different feel than a place like Olney. Silver Spring is more of a metropolis feel than a place like Olney, where it's more of a suburban feel. So I think that's what's drawing people to Olney, is they want more of that wide open space, the suburban feel, and the neighborhoods with a lot more yard to them. So other than the commuting and the location, what should you know about living in Olney? Well, I think it's important to talk about the shopping, dining, and amenities here, because it has a ton to offer that you would not expect for such a suburban area. And first, let's start out with grocery stores. You have a Safeway, a Giant, a Harris Teeter, and a Roots Organic Market. So you have pretty much everything covered there right within town. And Olney is loaded with restaurants to eat at. At the time of this video, there are 39 restaurants in Olney alone. And a lot of those are actual local restaurants that are highly rated. So plenty of places to eat in town. That's a ton of options for an area of this size. If you're not from Maryland, a suburban town like Olney, it's very rare to see that many options nearby. So that's a huge perk of living here. And let's talk about health real quick. There is an actual hospital in Olney. It's called MedStar Health. It used to be called Montgomery General Hospital. And having a hospital in town is also kind of interesting for Olney. If you look at it on a map, it is well outside of the normal route that hospitals would be on, which is the I-270 corridor. So having a hospital right in town, God forbid you need it, is a really big perk, because otherwise you're driving probably 20 minutes or more to the nearest hospital. There are also dozens of doctor's offices in town and over 6 pharmacies as well. So as far as health goes, you're completely covered in this area. There are also multiple gyms in town. You have an Orange Theory, an F45, a Gold's Gym, and a One Life Fitness, as well as multiple local fitness studios. All right, so I think we've established that there are plenty of amenities right in town, but what is there to do in Olney? Well, first you have the Olney Theater, which is one of 2 state-run theaters where you can watch live performances. It's a very popular place for people in Olney to go to, and not only local residents go there, but people from all over the DMV area will go to Olney Theater because they have performances going all throughout the year. And if you're looking for more outdoor activities, or you have kids and you're thinking about what parks are nearby, there are multiple parks within Olney specifically, the biggest of those being Olney Manor Recreational Park. And this has an indoor swim center, a dog park, a skate park, basketball courts, multiple baseball fields, tennis courts, racquetball courts, sand volleyball courts, and outdoor picnic areas. And right next to the Olney Manor Recreational Park, you also have the Olney Golf Park, which has a covered driving range and a dedicated short game practice area. And this is just within the town of Olney itself. Montgomery County has thousands of acres of parkland where you can go hiking and mountain biking, boating and fishing. And that's just Montgomery County. You're also within 30 minutes to some of the best parks in the entire state. So Olney has so much to offer by itself, and it's also a convenient drive to some of the best in the state. All right, so we've established that there are plenty of amenities in Olney, but what else should you know about moving here? Well, I think if you're watching this video and you have kids or have kids on the way, you're very concerned with schools in the area. And one of the most important things to note here is that Olney is a part of the Montgomery County Public School System, which has some of the highest rated high schools in the entire country. But it's important to note that there are 3 Montgomery County Public School clusters in Olney, with some children attending elementary and middle schools that send students to Magruder High School, others attending schools that send students to Sherwood High School or James Hubert Blake High School. Olney is also home to Good Counsel High School, which is one of the most popular private high schools in the area, who have a strong athletics program that are known for sending a lot of their students to D1 sports in college, and even have some of their students going into the NFL. And if being in a great school district is at the top of your priority list, I highly recommend going to niche.com and greatschools.org and looking at the individual schools that you could be districted to and looking at the ratings and reviews. Sometimes the ratings don't really match what makes a great school in your mind. Sometimes it's better to read the reviews, look at the statistics, look at the demographics, and decide for yourself. So I highly recommend going to those sites and making the decision for yourselves. All right, so at this point in the video, if you are still considering moving to Olney, then you need to know about the real estate market. And Olney has a mix of condos, townhouses, and single-family detached homes, so there's a little bit of something for everybody. And if you're looking for a condo in Olney, they range from the mid 100s to the mid 300s, with the median price point at the time of this video at $315,000. And if you're looking for a townhouse in Olney, they range from the low 3s to the mid 600s. And at the time of this video, the median price point for a townhouse in Olney is $449,000. And if you're looking for a single-family detached home in Olney, you're going to be looking to pay between the mid-500s up to just under $2 million, with the median price point at the time of this video at $726,000. And an important thing to note about the homes in Olney, including these detached homes, is that so many of them were built in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, with very few being built after 2000. So it's just something to consider if you're moving here. You may have to do renovations if they have not been done already. And the Olney real estate market is known for being very competitive, being so close to DC. It's a highly desirable area. So if you need help navigating this market, moving to Olney, or just need advice on Montgomery County as a whole, please reach out to me. I would be happy to help you with your move or answer your questions. My information is listed below. You can also reach out to me by going into the description or into the comments and clicking on the link to schedule a one-on-one call with me, and I'll get a plan together for you and your move. And as always, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe so you stay up to date on all of my videos about moving to Maryland.